Alright, back online now. Let's see if our game is loading up. See if it doesn't like entirely drop frames. Hopefully not. Alright, looks like it's still dropping, to be honest. I think it might be the game. I think it might be the game, which is crazy. We dropped 2.2 frames, or 2.2% of frames. Let's see, it's still the kilobytes per second is still dropping. It's alright. It's alright. It might not be the most stable stream, right? I don't know why. We'll keep that right there, but let's just play anyway. I don't really care. I don't really care if it streams or not. I was just trying to see if I could stabilize it, but we'll be alright. If it just really drops, I'll just drop it, and I'll just keep playing. Do we need like a more power station? Like another power station? Unused output power is like crazy. Okay, well let's upgrade it then. And produced improved output. It's broken. Come on. Already? Where? Okay, right here. Okay, well, we'll get them fixed up. Yeah, man, we just got here, and you're already breaking the fence. Alright, here we go. The dinosaurs are loose. We just started and the dinosaurs are already loose. Their comfort is so low. Why is their comfort so low? Their social is just so low? Okay, look, I'm trying, okay? What is it? A stigmy? Okay, I need to make more stigmies, like, fast. Oh, they're right here, they're right here, come on. Don't worry, they're coming, okay? They're coming, you got your friends coming. Alright, come on, get him. Get him! Alright, here we go. We got this other one right here. Okay, let's go ahead and hold on. Alright, let's get these transport teams. Let's move all these Stigmies into this single pen, where they will be in the Stigmy pen, and hopefully they're fine over there, you know? We got a few more over here. We got 2 more over here that we're gonna add up. Guest satisfaction, we need to do a few contracts over here. You know what, honestly, let's terminate the contracts that we do have. And then we'll just restart some new contracts. I think that's best for just a new session. Let's request a new contract. We need better security contracts. Use expedition too small herbivore fossils. Alright, we can do that. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right. Okay, we have max power used over here. Improved output 3.0, research required. We can't get that research yet, huh? Not yet. Alright, but we can do another improved output. Dude, that thing has like so much output. Alright, now we got these Stigmies back in their pen. And their social is up, you know, their comfort is up. They're looking for water. I think the Stigmies should be fine. They're looking like they're good over here. What are these other animals that we have over here? Their social's a little bit low. Let's get another one here. The Thyracosaurus or something like that, right? We'll get 2 more over there just to be on the safe side. This one right here. 86% of the genome complete. So let's go ahead and just get 2 more of those. And then what other kind of... How are they doing right here? These, honestly, I don't even really like these all too well. I might sell those, to be honest, just before I make new ones. What? A Velociraptor was hunted by the T-Rex? That's crazy. Okay. What can we put? We could put over here. What can we put over here? We need a meat eater for sure. We could do this one. I know they fought that one last time, but what if we did 2 of them? What if we did 2? That'd be crazy, right? What? They both died. Come on. Let's trudge the genome. Bro, they still haven't cleared that dinosaur? Oh, another one died. Oh, this one died of old age. What was it? The Triceratops? Aw, I was never able to keep a Triceratops that long. It was Rune Blade. Aw. I think we might need to get more Triceratops in here then. We don't want the other ones to get lonely and start destroying things. Our Triceratops is ready to release. We need to get them out of there as soon as we can because they will destroy the enclosure. They are not happy in the environment. Alright, these are ready to release. These are ready to release right here. Who knows how these are gonna do over here? These two are not gonna last long in here, but we'll see. Start fighting already? Where's my controller? I need to turn it on. Come on, come on, come on. That dinosaur. Damn it, man. I was gonna try to get there close. I was gonna try to get there fast. Sorry, he's gonna kill the other one too. Oh my god. All right, I think this island is maxed out for right now. I think we're maxed out on this island for right now. Let's see. We still have these. Sabotage risk is high for both of these, and I really don't want to have to deal with the sabotage risk right now. So I think let's just go ahead and move to the next island. Alright, here we go. Now we're going to start on Island Pena. It's going to be a new island start. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know actually. I should look up a guide. Alright, I'm not sure what they were up to on this island, but it certainly doesn't scream tourist attraction to me. You're gonna have to work. You're gonna have your work cut out for here. Restricted. Restricted building space and high power upkeep will see to that. I'd recommend investing in some big ticket dinosaurs, but they don't come without complications. You can't confine nature this way, because nature adapts. It searches for weakness. It finds them and exploits them, not sometimes. All times. The island is worlds away from Hammond's creation. Okay, well, first off, let's, if power upkeep is going to be big, let's just go ahead and start with a large power station, since we have that already. Or a medium. This is a really long path, just from the entrance point. But here we go, let's check out this space. Oh my gosh. I can't open the fossils until the power is back on, so I have to wait for this building to be built. They're building it. They're building it. Oh my god, people are here. People are here. Customers, guys, customers. Don't worry, they're gonna have a long walk. Alright, we have $5 million here, so let's go ahead and just improve the output. I know where you have a high output, but let's go ahead and improve the output right off the bat. So we have 45 unused power, and we are using 80 power. And we have some guests arriving. Alright, the guests are arriving here at Isla Pena. Go ahead and, yeah, they're gonna go down this trail here. It's gonna be a long trail. Alright, we have the Expedition Center here, where the teams go out and dig. Let's check out what we got here. Alright, we can send them out. Let's go send them out. We're gonna need some big ticket dinosaurs on this island here. We're gonna take some big swings and misses on this island. That's what it's about. Alright, so we have the Expedition Center, the Fossil Center, and we have a Hammond Creation Lab here. Oh, we have a, looks like these are tall concrete enclosures. This is new, this is something I haven't had. Looks like this is more of a private enclosure rather than one that's to be seen. Oh, it has a viewing gallery actually. But it seems like it's like a little bit of different. Alright, so what should we get here first? I don't know. I really don't know. My immediate reaction is if you're asking for big ticket dinosaurs, might as well just go for the carnivores. That's what people want to see, right? Some action. Let me go ahead and read this. I'll just go ahead and start with the Ceratosaurus. No, I don't want to start with that one. I don't know. We're gonna need some big ones, yeah. So let's go ahead and just start with that, yeah. Just take their word for it. Start with these two Ceratosaurus. Let's try to see if we can get a different pattern for one of them, so we can at least distinguish them. Alright, so our Hammond Creation Lab, we got this here. Let's go ahead and upgrade the speed. Let's do 3.0 speed. Let's get some, let's get him out here. Let's get him out of here. And increase the success rate. Alright. Let's check out our control room. We got some fossils. Expedition, let's send them back out immediately. Alright, let's sell this. Sell that. Sell that. There we go. We completed our mission. Extract DNA to get that. Extract DNA to get that. Extract DNA to get that. Extract DNA. Failed. Alright, let's upgrade the success rate 2.0 with another success rate instrument. Another fail? Come on, bro. We can't have that many failures. Alright, we gotta have these work. We can't just be wasting money on all these dinosaurs early on. We gotta have them work. Oh wait, I accidentally put the pattern on both of them. So it might be hopefully they survive. I mean, I have upgraded them now, so should be able to survive. Alright, we have our dinosaur team out there. Let's go ahead and check the perimeter of this area. We have new fences? No, still have heavy steel. Okay, let's see. Got a bunch of perimeter around here. Very thin, nothing going on over here. What could we put right here? Pretty much nothing. I mean, we could put not enough enclosure for sure, but I don't know what I would put there. I kind of want to put an enclosure over here, being that we have like this little corner area. This would be a good nook, maybe. Maybe not too big, but just like a square right here, right? Nothing really can go over here. Maybe just like a restroom and put the path a little bit closer to the wall. Alright, we got this enclosure area over here. Alright, let's put him back out there. Oh, then poop. Alright, we're getting some good DNA over here. Let's see how the creations are going. I like that we have the night island now. This is pretty sick. I was really hoping for the night island. Just I think it'd be so cool to like put lights on it and everything. So much different from like a daytime vibe. We need to put some feeders up in here. What do we even have? All right, I gotta make some rangers over here. I think the rangers would be perfect right here. I mean, what else would fit right here, right? I mean, I don't want the rangers to be too far to actually. The Expedition Center and the Fossil Center are not really integral as the Rangers section is, so we'll put them close to the the Hammond Creation Center. I think that'll be a smart idea, to be honest. So that way we can. Okay, now we have. Oh wait, we got a lot of things over here. Dude, that's crazy that the Rangers are gonna have to drive all the way up this mountain. I mean, I could create a monorail for the people, of course. Otherwise, what else are they gonna do? But Alright, so I guess we're gonna build another enclosure. Go ahead and build it around a viewing alley, huh? Individually. What? Come on, power outage. Alright, we got some outage protection because it might go out again. Crazy. As long as we don't have electrical fences right now, you know? If we had electrical fences and then we had power outage, we'd be done. Thankfully, we have these concrete fences. Alright, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try something different. Instead of building a perimeter fence around the perimeter, make an enclosure around that. I think what I'm going to do is try making a path around the perimeter and then make an enclosure inside of that. Let's try that. So I think I can build like maybe 2 enclosures in here. The power outage is still out, bro. Come on. That's insane. Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna use a lot of power, yeah. Wow. Alright, so I'm gonna rewind this again because that was pretty incredible, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty incredible. Storm warning. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, bro. Looks like things are going down. Fence broken? No way, where? Yeah, the storm coverage is dotty. I'm sorry. Alright. Dude, I'm not covering anything right there. I'm not covering anything right there. I failed. I failed. Where's it at? Where's it at? Alright, I'm gonna put it right there. Then I'm gonna build a fence around it. Oh my god, the fence is really broken. Oh my god, the storm is destroying everything, bro. I couldn't build the storm defense station fast enough. Oh my god. Dinosaurs are panicking for sure. Good thing there's only two I don't have to worry about. They just escape. Whoa, I don't even have an escape team, escape capture team. I did not expect all this to go down here. Alright, Rangers, you're gonna need to repair everything out here. Everything is down. Oh my gosh, check Ranger Station? Okay, well, what do I even do right now? I gotta drive the vehicle myself. Alright, we gotta do this manually. Alright, well hold on, let me try to set this up. Game is paused.
The first question is for Ronnie.
Okay, so I'm just gonna watch this again
Why is it
because
that
I
your name
already
appears
did
so
watch
often
it, but
on the Epstein list?
it's just that good.
Wow. Look, the 90s was a weird time. You know, things were
All right, here we
different.
go. We need to drive this
Things
vehicle. We need to go repair everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, this does get in. Costa, you were hosting.
Costa, you were on the Epstein list.
No. You were hosting this week, so this is something that I want to talk about because I think it's interesting for everybody, and there was a great deal of preparation. There was a great deal of preparation each day. You had all these bits lined up, and then in the middle of the day,
Disease contracted for real in the middle of all this.
a young man by the name of Elon Musk decides
Dinosaurs threat. It's out.
And I don't know if this was his intention, to blow up
Where?
Correct. Yeah.
What is that for people that are watching? 'Cause you see
Did the dinosaur escape? I need
it
to
all
know.
looks kind of effortless. People don't realize sort of what maybe goes into all that preparation, all those different things. The writers, the producers, all
The
the
dinosaur didn't escape. Okay.
When at 2
Thank
o'clock
God.
in the afternoon,
The
somebody
dinosaur didn't
just,
escape.
Right.
what did that feel like?
This week, and I know all my co-hosts have experienced the same, and same for you, John, for all the years you've hosted. But this week we did rehearsal at 2:45. We
Oh,
covered
shoot, I
Trump's
can't
travel
even use-
ban. We covered that he appointed a 22-year-old boy as his anti-terror expert that had an eyebrow raised and his head shot. And then I went upstairs to get my dog to bring him down to rewrite room. And by the time I went to rewrite room, they said Trump and Elon under a Twitter fight. We're starting over. And then you're back to the blank cursor blinking on a computer screen. And man, that's like my favorite part of the Daily Show, when you realize how good the machine is. That we just wiped the show, which was a funny show. It was a funny show. It was a funny rehearsal. Thank you very much. And
Wait, you rehearsed?
I rehearsed. And it is so impressive. I'm in awe of the Daily Show that they created in new graphics, new sound bites, new jokes, and put on a great show. And it's just so cool that we can back down and avoid that. And do the show that was good, that we challenge ourselves. And that's what they do all the time. And that's what's so fun to do.
Can I throw a question off that to you?
What?
You ready for this?
This is going to be so
ready for this?
awesome.
Oh, why not?
This-
You know, I got a fucking whole thing here.
This is what the new athletic Daily Show
I got a
does.
Jenga
Put
pile
it
of
down,
cards.
Stuart.
Oh,
Put it down.
Damn it.
Get out the shredder.
Put
All
it
right.
down. I feel like this is commonplace for us in the Trump era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biden was so much easier. They'd let you know a month in advance.
Yeah.
He's gonna have trouble at this one press conference.
I don't even have enough
Make
money
sure you got
for
a
like a
camera.
research center.
You took a little break, right?
I had to get to know my family.
You had to get to family time, as you call it, right?
They turned out to be lovely.
It turned out to be lovely. Coming back into a Trump world where you hadn't been covering day in and day out, like
Right.
were you expecting the change in the way the show had to sort of run in the day to day? Like was that different than your expectations walking back into the show?
You know, it's a funny question because a lot of the people that were there in 2015 when I left are still there, and they were phenomenal. But it's you go away for a little bit and you come back, and they're faster, stronger, taller, better, smarter, funnier. Like I walked back into the room and it was all the people that I'm used to seeing. Like you go away, you don't realize. And I was blown away at how they had taken even the level. You know what it reminds me of is, so when I was in college, I played soccer, and we thought we were pretty good. And then I went back like 30 years later to watch my old college team play, and their team sucked. Like we were a probably nationally ranked top 20 team in the country. I went back, they sucked. 30 years later. But they would have beaten the shit out of our team. Like they were so much faster, stronger, more athletic. And that's how I felt about coming back to the show is everyone had taken it to that next level. And I think probably out of necessity, having been through the first. What was it like in the first Trump era? And is it different now than what you experienced in that first one?
Well, first of all, we're faster. It's performance-enhancing drugs. That's what it is. You know.
That I did not know.
That is. I mean, I remember hosting. It was. I mean, hilariously, we did a live show this year during the Republican National Convention, and I remember us thinking like, oh shit, we have to write this show. It's always fun doing a live show because you are crafting it as the news is coming in, and then Hulk Hogan takes the stage, and you're like, we're gonna be fucking fine. Right. But America's like, oh, that guy, that's Hulk Hogan. He's ripping off his shirt, and then he's bringing out Dana White, and then Donald Trump's coming out with a tampon on his head. Okay, this is gonna be fine.
You know what's bad?
We will find comedy.
When Kid Rock is on the side going, Hulk, Take your time.
Be respectful.
Be respectful.
I think they might
there was when we
die.
jumped back in
I'm sorry.
after
I don't have
the
I don't have
Biden
enough
era,
money
like,
to even
we
get a
all
research
remember
center.
The pace of a Trump news.
Let me see if I can go to
When's the
another
last time
island
you
to do the
jumped back
research.
into it that you really remember. Oh right, it's.
I
just
think
an
I still need to
onslaught
build
by
another
design.
research
And I think this one felt
center.
even more of an onslaught. He's both unfettered. I think that design has been honed and is more intentional than it ever was before.
So I need a
And
science
it did
contract.
seem like the
Guest
pace picked up.
facilities, dude. I'm not gonna be able to do that.
It's like the 445 curse is what we call it, where it's just
I got
late enough in the
$1
day, you could maybe
per
save it
guest
for
facility
the
right
next
now.
day, but it's such a big story. You kind of feel like you want to at least touch on it for the show. How do you decide in that day when a story drops like that at 4:30?
Right.
How do you decide whether it's something that you want to tackle that day or you want to sit on it?
Well, I show up Monday around 3 pretty drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
So whatever's in the prompter's in the prompter, and I just, I
Let it
think
roll.
I think we all have that, and I think the interesting part for me will be what level of distraction.
I'm only just gonna incubate this one just so it can
He's got
be
a
destroyed.
bunch of cards, I
That's
think,
sad,
in a
but
box
I need to do
that
something
he can
because people are not
deploy
coming in right now.
to distract us from
Glenn,
reality.
the
Like
Glenn
it's-
Gary, Glenn Ross leads.
I think he's got the lead box. Like right now, they're like, Elon Musk tweets, Donald Trump is on the Epstein list, and he's like, let's declare martial law in Los Angeles. How about that? How about I send in the National Guard and a bunch of
And it works.
ICE agents? It works phenomenally well. But speaking of that kind of pivot, and I want to ask you guys because you brought up the Republican convention. The show was all set to go to the Republican National Convention right before that first attempt, I think, on Trump's lives. Were you
I had to release 6 dinosaurs, so I mean,
Milwaukee at
that would
time?
be
I was still.
that would
Were you guys in Milwaukee?
that would qualify me, to be honest.
God, Jordan.
We were buying Milwaukee Brewers baseball caps at the time.
Yeah.
We were at a Brewers game.
No!
Yeah.
In
Oh,
the
you
gift
You were
shop.
at the park?
You gotta hang, John. We're going out doing cool stuff, man. You
Yeah.
gotta come. We're seeing baseball.
You guys
games.
know I'm super social.
I know. You would
Hang out
love
with
it.
us more. We were trying on Brewers jerseys. We had hats. Do you think, is this hat good or is this hat good? And we're running around the store, and Jordan is like, stop just staring at his phone. And I'm like, Jordan, do you like this? And he's like, Desi, put that down.
It was not a good fit, to be
It
very
was
clear. It
not.
was not a good fit. It wasn't. I had to be honest.
Not my color.
I was doing what a lot of people do at baseball games. Looking
You were at
on-
the game too?
Yeah, we were all there. I was on Zillow looking at the local housing costs to see if I should move from my shitty New York, Brooklyn apartment to Milwaukee, where I can have a 6-bedroom house.
Oh, they're
on
all
lake
getting
for
the sick. They're all getting sick,
$185,000.
dude. Oh my god.
But we were in Milwaukee and took a Zoom with you, and Jordan's family was there, and he said, "Do you mind
They're all
if we
sick right
share a
now.
hotel room? Because I don't want my family to kind of be a part of this terrible national news." So Jordan and I are sitting next to each other. We don't know where you were. You probably were. I don't know. But and that's when we
Marvel
decided to
movie.
go back to New York and do the shows. And again, that's what's so fucking awesome about the Daily Show is how quickly the pivot can happen. And great week of shows, which I think was live shows, right? Maybe that next week.
Ron
I don't remember.
was in the air, had the pilot turn around.
The power.
I was in San Diego doing stand-up comedy. When we had-
Oh, you
We're gonna have
weren't
to
there?
sell
You hadn't
all
gone
our
to Milwaukee?
fossils.
I hadn't gone to Milwaukee. I was gonna do the show and then go to Milwaukee afterwards. And then I was doing a stand-up show in San Diego, which is kind of a military
it'd be
town.
easier if we sell
Right,
all of
and
our
so
fossils.
We got shot, and I was like, man, should I talk about this at the show or not? I have some jokes about MAGA in my routine right now, and should I just, in the name of human decency, maybe let's just have a night of comedy?
I'm sorry, what's that phrase?
Bro, I can't believe they're dying.
And I got to the
Crazy.
show, and no one in San Diego cared.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and to me it was a lesson of like people I don't think they knew he got shot, and I guess I chalk it up to like we are so connected to the news in a way that most humans are like, what you got? Oh,
Right.
What's the tell us the dick joke?
Right.
Like they didn't even notice at the San Diego show. So I think I was the one who broke the news to the San Diego crowd. Like, hey, do you know the president got shot? They're like,
Well,
what?
this is also explains some of the problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they know.
I'm sure you're very, really gentle breaking it to the people. I can only imagine that being the calm, soothing voice. When there's a national tragedy, emergency, people feel unsure. Ronnie
got
Chang, why
shot.
don't you fill us in?
Right. Wait, what?
You people are so stupid.
Stupid people don't even know the president got.
Did you when we pivoted and came back? So I hadn't gone out in there yet, and Jen and I were talking. Jen Plants was the executive producer of the program, and is really the only reason why any of this can happen.
Correct.
With the kind of adaptability that it does, like just.
Man, I can believe that.
That's one of the people that Jen was a production assistant when I started on the show in 1999, and now like is the keeper of, you know, the Krusty Krab formula. Like she's the only one who knows how this thing all works, but she's the one who makes sure. So she and I were talking, and you know, it was that sense of, do you give in to the moment? There was something about it that felt like we must, because Lord knows if one 22-minute nightly satirical show is off the air, you know, from the live location that it was supposed to be, that nobody believes we're at anyway, because normally we're on a green screen, you know, the world will stop spinning. And we were going back and forth and all that, and then they moved the security zone. Our theater was in, there was the soft zone and the hard zone.
What are we talking about? My abs here?
Yeah. Jen got the call that where the theater was going to move into the hard zone. And we were like, I don't think we want to be in the hard zone. So everybody came home.
But why, John? Why? Because my instinct was, oh my God, this is a big thing. This is our duty as Daily Show correspondents. And I was so thankful that you smacked us in the face with reality and said, come home, be safe.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
No, listen, I thought it'd be funnier if you guys weren't. No, I think that's, and that's something that, you know, for the audience, I think there's sometimes an expectation, and we'll talk about that a little bit, is do you feel a sense of, and I know I began to feel this sort of in the early 2000s, and as you know, like things would happen like the Charlie Hebdo horrible massacre, and you start to feel like, oh, we've got to go on the air and say something funny and profound about this. But I think it took a few of those for me to realize, oh, why? That's not, if we've got something to say, great, we'll say it. But that's not necessarily our flag to plant all the time. We'll be back. Do you guys feel that pressure?
I kind of take a lot of my cues from you. And so when you said, so I gotta admit, it is when something super horrible is happening. Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I'm like, wait, why? Why is this not the voice to come on and make some jokes about something horrible that just happened?
Right.
So I'm with you of like, this isn't that's not something that we necessarily need to contribute to the culture at that moment. So.
I think it really helped when you relieved us of that burden. You no, but you did.
Yeah, some would
I
call
came
it.
into a meeting and I just went, what we do doesn't matter. Why won't you all understand that?
John, some would call it cowardly or a dereliction of duty, but we see it as a relief. Not a cowardly act by a small man in stature and morality, but like as a permission structure to be small ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have always said this show can shrink to meet the moment.
But to remember that we are a comedy show. And I think so much of it is not just about making people laugh and bringing some lightness and some joy to everything happening, but it's also about catharsis. And, that can come through laughter, and it can come through having something meaningful to say. It can come through honesty and authenticity and vulnerability and keeping your humanity intact. But if you can't do that, if it doesn't feel cathartic to talk about it on the show, why do it?
People, on occasion, people will come up to me and say, thank you for making the show. What you're doing is really important. And I look behind me to see if they're talking to someone else. Because I said, I'm not a journalist. I went to University of Illinois and I played collegiate tennis and I got a C+ average in the School of Communication, where classes were like public speaking. So I hope we're holding real journalists to the standard that something important happened, the burden is on them to cover this with integrity and honesty. Of course, I love when we say something profound and have a message, but I speak for myself. I am not a journalist. I am not a politician. I am a comedian. Tickets are available most nights to my shows.
Plug the book. Plug the book.
And
Plug the book.
no, but
Plug the book.
of course we
Plug
want to
the
say
book.
something important, but
you don't-
the
you don't-
important people should say the important things first, and we can tell jokes.
Wait, you don't sell out in pre-sale? You should try the but to,
I gotta get a better marketing guy or something. I don't know.
I was supposed to be talking about this season, but just to bring it back, since we have the guy who invented modern American satire here.
Yeah.
You've been
Yeah, no big
Yeah.
deal. No big deal.
a lot of what we do, we're talking about changing the show at 4 p.m. for a 6 p.m. taping. A lot of that has to do with the technology available as well.
Okay.
in
I
addition
barely
to
have enough money to like
the skill set of
release
the crew and
dinosaurs,
produce
let alone
them
do
to
research. Like,
using
I need
this
to do a
technology.
research center, and I need to
Someone
get
who's been
the
around since
ACU
the
center. The
Jurassic.
ACU center, so I can
Like,
move
what was
the
it
dinosaurs
like,
around
Could you even change
between
the show
these
at
different
4
enclosures.
With tapes?
Yeah.
Years ago, we used to do the show with a stone tablet and a chisel.
Yeah.
I would sit, and then we'd have the tablet almost done, and then somebody
New
would
research
come in and
available.
go, Garfield's been shot. You kidding? McKinley's
see
taking
what
over.
we have. Medical treatment. We need that.
The technology part
Ammonia,
of it is, and I'm
avian
sure
pox.
even
That's what we
you
need.
guys have
It costs
seen,
$400,000 to
the
research that.
advances in technology.
We don't have
But
enough.
It is true. Like when we started in 1999,
Need to sell some
we
fossils.
still edited in the online room. So, and there were no. I mean, it sounds almost ridiculous now, but like TiVo hadn't been invented yet. Like there wasn't.
There's
the
no
sense
market
that you
demand
could
for this
follow.
fossil. I just have to
think
extract the DNA.
The way we did the show was we used to get, there was one group feed that you could buy into, even if you were us. And it was the AP news feed. So what it would be is you would get stories on the AP news feed. So it would be the two big stories of the day. And then generally like a human interest story, like the celebration of the Nazarene in the Philippines,
Man,
you know.
another dead
And so our
dinosaur.
show
I just
network
need enough
feed
money just to
everyone on the AP feed.
just to
And
save them,
we
but they're not
wanted
even going to be
use
savable.
5 rolls of tape like this before we ever did our Daily Show montages or any of those kinds of things.
I honestly just have
If
to.
you made
It might be a better option just to wait till the other one just dies,
When you were putting the show
so that way I
together,
can just bring in new ones,
Avids were.
and they won't be contagion.
You hear the whole crowd like, what?
Yeah. This is such an LA audience. You say Avid, everyone's like,
Avid.
oh, Avid. Yeah.
Oh, Avids. I don't understand.
It didn't react to Trump being shot, but Avid
No.
shot. Oh my God! The humanity.
They don't even know Trump got shot.
It was rough. Those were the days. And then when all of those technologies started,
I have no money
to
for
work,
nothing.
and you saw how quickly it all changed. And
We're just
suddenly
losing
what
money right
changed
now.
Was the agency that the show could have.
And there's like nothing
in
else I can
terms of
just
narrative
destroy except the
direction.
enclosures.
So
But
you
I
went
just built
from
those things,
being
bro.
sort of at the mercy as to what would be presented to you, to a kind of democratizing of what your intention could be, and so you could now run.
Honestly, they're both
TiVos
dead.
and collect a bunch of stuff.
I don't
And
need Rangers at this moment.
That's when sort of the more modern way of how we would put the show together. But even then, it was rudimentary compared to, like you guys say, you'll go in there and just redo the entire show.
And I
turn
don't
it
need this
around,
power
and
station at
render
the
time
moment.
up within 45 minutes.
Small power
That
station.
is one of my favorite parts. Studio production. This week, before the big feud, Elon
We can
Musk
do the
didn't
research
like the big
on the medical
beautiful
treatment
bill
that I
for
don't
4
even need.
reasons. And MSNBC had a read of that, and it was slow, and it was a boring read. And
But
someone
I
said,
know it's
"Can
gonna
we
come
get
back."
a more exciting read from a different network?" And then Justin Milkman is on the phone, and in like 12 seconds, there's a new read of a more exciting version of that, and it's amazing. You talk about like the tools that are fun to play with. they have this amazing toolbox, and they give us the tools, and it's very cool. There used to be a studio production. Remember when you would walk in and all the computers were recording all of television? It felt like you were getting radiation cancer in that room every single time.
It looked like a server.
All this,
By the way,
was
that
like-
room was in the basement
Yes.
of our building, and for years, we didn't realize it wasn't supposed to be moist. Like, for some reason, it was this one room in the building that was always moist, and we just thought, like, is that necessary for the computers? And then somebody else was like, I think that's mold, actually. You would just lose video editors. Like, they'd be like, where is he? Like, tuberculosis. It's not. But those things have changed. And even the funny part about working at the show is the people that are on there that do the guts of the show love it so much. Like, Max, how many times have you been emailed on a Saturday, on a like Monday night at 2 a.m, where like Max or Justin or somebody will go like send you a link to a thing that they found that's just the right piece of information for the larger thought that you were going to put into the piece.
Honestly, one of the most interesting things in having been at the Daily Show for a long time is to see like how it's been adapted.
Have you?
Well, I mean, not Jurassic. I think I was like Jurassic Lost World. Yeah, right?
You were the fourth one. Once Chris Pratt entered the picture.
Yeah, we have
That's
the
when
Chris
you were
Pratt era, right?
You're
Yeah,
our Chris Pratt.
Where he's a raptor wrangler? Is that where that series went?
Yes, it makes sense. In
Yeah, one of
context.
these.
I love that when you look at the Velociraptor.
Yeah, just-
Careful,
Sound girl.
all 6 writers of that screenplay.
You're
are
right, yeah.
In this room, yeah.
Don't worry, your genius's AI could never come up with an idea that dumb.
Back then, they had to use real dinosaurs.
They did. It's so impressive. What has been so interesting, like, there's Twitter now. That people get reactions to the news in real time. Where 20 years ago, they would wait to the night to see how late night shows responded to it. Now they get in real time on Twitter. Now they get quick clips.
Dude, I have
And think, like, we
$480
have
to
this
this
robust
park's name, bro.
social team
That's crazy.
that has the ability to like respond in real time.
I'm losing money
Lead
in
conversations
time.
Real time throughout the day. I think then the show now can craft a narrative in its first act, which can play for like a
No
decent
sources of
narrative
avian
about what
pox
happened
remained
during
in
the
Lake
day or
Park.
make larger points.
Thank you,
We have field people
awesome.
that can go out and they can kind
It's
of
just
craft
because I
stories that
just
are out there.
gained the
We get to do
research back.
specials, They get to have long narrative. We get to do clipped
Love
jokes.
this special.
Bro, we're losing
There
so
are
much
great
money per
specials
second.
done by really intrepid reporters. Go into the fray, you know.
Finger the
Aren't
pulse.
afraid to
Finger it.
who are not afraid to use
Finger
the
it.
pulse and finger the pulse, you know. It's really intrepid work that's out there. But I do think like people often talk about like the way they engage with like Daily Show content, and sometimes people just get clips. They don't know it's from the Daily Show. They just know here's a funny thing. Jon Stewart said this funny joke. Ronnie Chang did this one interesting take, and it can play. And I think the show crafts ways that it can play in that.
I need to just start safe with
But
these
also,
small
if you watch
dinosaurs
it on linear
first, because
television,
people are going
it
to come
plays
to
in a
that.
narrative context, and then it also plays in a real-time context, which I think that's like a testament to the structure that we have at the show that has the ability to be a comedy machine in real time and like have conversations on all those platforms.
Yes.
But is there a but?
No but.
No, just a yes?
Yeah, just a yes.
I'll
But
take
did that surprise? So you guys grew up in that era, and I'll ask you how you sort of interact now with.
We grew up
social
watching
media.
you, John.
Settled in.
We grew up watching you.
Grew up in that era where, again, I was used to this linear idea of like I feel like I run a tower.
Okay, we have 2
You know what I mean?
dinosaurs.
Like, I'm
They're
still
part of
like,
our early
people
6
that do on
dinosaurs.
music, they've gotta come into
and we
my
need to sell
store and
one
go
of
to the
these.
CD rack.
We're gonna get those.
And everybody's like, I have a chip behind my ear, and it gets me all the new Bieber songs. Like, it is, the delivery systems are so different, but the content, I sort of liken it to like when I started, we were at McDonald's, and then like you opened a drive-through, and like I'm like, wait, you can go around the corner and just pick it up at the window. Has that changed? But it still feels like content is king.
I can't even put
rather
a feeder in
than
here,
the
bro. It's so
system that
expensive.
Delivered. Do you consume media in that way? Does it matter to you how you get it, where you get it? That's our show for today.
Yeah.
We're gonna go.
It's definitely how I consume it. I think where I get nervous about it is
Like my
context.
kids
I
don't
think
watch television; they see it.
They see
it's
it
on
like
their
this.
phone.
I think context is gone. in so many ways in which people get media. That's what scares me about stuff. Is like you can get stuff out of context from TV, from shows, from clips, and so people don't know the grand scheme of things. I laugh when people see me on the street, and if they're over 40, they recognize you from The Daily Show.
Well, I'm just gonna
If
get
they're
rid of
between
this
30 and 40,
whole-
They recognize you from YouTube, and if you're under 30, your content that they see.
Yeah.
You're
And-
an
and-
influencer.
Was it? Yeah, you're an influencer.
You're an influencer.
Exactly. And I used to be like, oh, that's funny. I'm like, no, that is like canon now. Like a 25-year-old just knows you in 30-second clips, which to me is worrisome and or at least a challenge in crafting something that makes sense within that 30-second clip. But it's also kind of the reality in which they are getting information. And I think the savvier ones are using that and then seeking out longer form stuff, even like a podcast. And then you have on the flip side where people will listen to people talk for an hour and a half about something as well. So I think like it's the context that shifts. The platforms people seem to be like dipping in each of them. I know I do.
People listen to our show, just the audio
Yeah.
version of it, with no other visual component. It's a very popular podcast. They just sit on the train and listen to the audio of our show, and it crushes. And they say Costa's audio crushes.
They say
They-
that.
they say that?
I added that last part.
Wait,
And you're
But I'm
there?
saying, but here we are.
with them when they're doing
Technology's never been better, and people are still taking the audio of a video component and downloading it and living.
Yeah.
What a missed opportunity. They can't even see your abs.
Exactly.
All that
Soft
work.
and hard security area.
I like coming out of the jungles of Malaysia. Like
Here we
I
go.
asp-
Stop, Ronnie.
We're
Jesus
talking about
Christ.
the jungle.
As a real immigrant here who
Yeah, here we
actually
go.
overcame adversity.
I was raised by small lemurs.
I always aspired to work at these American institutions of comedy. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I that was my aspiration to work at, you know, like SNL, Daily Show, you know, work in American show business. I felt there was something aspirational about these institutions. And you get to, you know, over the last kind of 10 years, you're talking about the internet kind of the algorithm kind of rewards quantity over quality. I think that's kind of what we're discussing here.
By the way, that is Comedy Central's new tagline.
Okay, well, I'm glad you could say. And
Are the three of are your buzzers buzzing in your back pocket? No,
yeah.
don't go there. Don't go there.
but I do feel that we've lived in 10 years of this kind of quantity over quality internet content thing, and I feel like there is a bit of a reaction. Humans are feeling sick of it. Some people feel sick of it, but they don't know why. But there is a reaction to this. Oh, this social media is making me sick, and I think one thing that the show does really well, and thank you to Jon Stewart as well for doing this really well, is doing
Bro, I need
its
to
production value
sell so many
and
things. I need to
quality,
get rid of the research center again.
you know, and I think that comes through. So there's a million people who can put on a suit and talk in front of a desk and talk about the news, but like they don't have the same production value and comedy knowledge, and you know, like
And we have a great group of writers. For real.
great group of
Yeah.
writers.
And so they turn shit out fast, funny.
Yeah.
And
Best in the business.
But I'm just saying that quality comes
yes,
through
the quality.
people.
Right.
And people can
increases
feel
the
it.
yeah.
I think people
yeah.
can feel it. You
Yeah.
know, when John's on the show, they can feel it. They know this
Yeah.
feels different to someone,
Yeah.
you know, telling the news with a dance and not, you know, it's that it.
Okay, I did that one time. One time.
Right. I just think that I hope that we're maybe this is more hopeful than anything, but I hope that we are going back to a quality kind of
Right.
over quantity kind of world.
All right,
Hopefully.
so
I
I'm
know.
gonna
Hopefully.
like complete
I
3
hope we're all
contracts
clapping
within this
and hope
one
it's true.
release of this
Well,
Diane
it is.
car.
I mean, I think, and for you guys also, who, you know, everyone out here who works in the business, I think we're feeling these kinds of the plates shift underneath us, and having experienced those shifts from, you know, our more primitive days of, you know, TiVos and everything else, to
We are in the negative.
what we're seeing now. I think we're all sort of feeling like we're on a much more tenuous ground. That, you know, I think we still sort of cling to this idea that what we do is a craft, has an artisanal purpose to it, that it's done for connection and it's done for a reason. And the more that you see the different, you know, as we watch these tech companies get into content, you see that the ethos it's a very different ethos. when they talk about like writers' rooms, it's really important for us that the writers are a part of the whole process, and that people in the building get to put their hands and touch the macro of the art that you produce, because you want them to see that picture so that when they become creators, they understand all the different elements and what the render times of certain things and how these things go. I think we all have a respect for the craft of working in a kind of a refinery where we really do go and we test the hops and we smell and you do all that, and then a tech company comes in and buys it and goes, let's just have 2 writers and let's just have them be in a room. And when you're shooting the show, they're not there anymore. They don't have that connection to the legacy of passing down the craft that we've all grown up with. And I think that's a tragic thing to lose in this case.
I mean, rehearsal.
All right, we
John,
got
is
350,000
really,
from this
let them
contract
applaud.
of releasing this
sorry.
dinosaur.
Well, now I built it up, and I don't even.
Then we're gonna sell it.
God bless By the way, that speech was written by AI. ChatGPT. Couldn't tell the difference. But I do think, because everything that these guys are talking about is about touching every part of the process and valuing every part of the process, from the people that do the editing, to the people in the control room, to the people in makeup and wardrobe, to props, to every single part of that is a contribution to that greater whole of quality. And I wondered, where you see that. Do you worry about technology replacing that with the ethos of like Elon's kind of, move fast and break shit and don't care at all about the people who make it?
Every once in a while, in the rewrite room, we'll do something funny or say something funny, and I will think, ooh, that'll make a good clip, and then I want to punch myself in the dick.
By the way, we also have 2 people in the building whose job it is to punch Michael in the dick.
Dick.
And that's a contribution as well. And I think I'm afraid we're going to lose that.
Sorry.
I hope.
I just wanted to see what the sign language for punch someone.
Hey!
By the way, can someone even verify this is correct sign language, by the way? Because I don't want to end up on my own show with.
I hope the answer, John, is what Ronnie alluded to earlier, that there always will be a hunger for quality. And I hope we keep making quality. And we have for the last 30 years. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Having
Will they have
faith in
the
humor.
discernment to
Yeah.
be able to tell.
Yeah. Can I do the act out that I was going to do?
Yeah.
So you talked about the brewmaster tasting the hops. I was thinking that's cool because rehearsal is really just getting the script and kind of going.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to read it. That's your problem.
I needed this is perfect. I did an act out, wasn't really funny. John stepped in, saved the day. Daily Show's great. There we go. Boom. That's how it works.
It's a team working together here.
I blame the sign language girl with the whole punching in the dick thing.
I don't know. I worry about it. I don't know.
I worry
Because
about it.
You, I don't know if this is the last of the Mohicans. Is this?
No, it feels like we're in one of those places. The one thing I will say is I remain optimistic that people feel the humanity that is infused in art. And if you remove that, you will know it. I can't say it for sure, and maybe I'm lying to myself, but there is something about the connection between people. And I see it now. Maybe this is a place to take it to a different place, because each week that we host, we go out and we have sort of an audience with it. I'm noticing in the audience something that I haven't seen in a long time, and that is need, like a real need to be in that room together, to connect with each other, a real almost a sense of isolation and a feeling of like the world is a little out of control. And that room feels almost like a revival to some extent. Are you feeling a difference when you go out and talk to the audience?
Yeah, I think they're just so with you the whole way through. Yes, it feels like we're thirsty to laugh. We need some relief. And I know for me, I feel it all throughout the day, and talking about just the group collaboration. And from the first meeting of the day, walking into a room of your funniest friends and finding the lightness and the humor and the tragedy that's happening in the world. And the fact that I get to work in a place that is so deeply collaborative. And this is something that you instilled into the DNA of the show. And Jen Flans is a huge part of it as well. But, you know, we have multiple meetings throughout the day. We talk to each other. We collaborate with each other. Anyone can pitch an idea. And you feel it in the creative process, and then to get to sit in with the audience and process it with them, it feels much more like a collaborative experience with them than I've ever felt.
The one I've been getting a lot lately is thank you for making me feel like I'm not crazy. I think when The Daily Show gets turned on, people have all these thoughts about what happened to the news, and then we dissect or joke about what happened, and it's like, oh no, I'm not crazy. They're pointing this out too. Desi brings up a great point. Anybody can pitch at The Daily Show. Anybody. Anybody can pitch an idea from an intern all the way up to the front. And it's really amazing how many different levels on the hierarchy have created jokes and pitches and ideas. I pitched an idea a year ago about this woman in the Everglades who hunts pythons, because the Burmese python, I'm sorry if this is going to turn anti-Burmese for a second, but the Burmese python has wiped out rabbits, foxes, squirrels.
Well, maybe
in the
they're
Everglades.
the better animal. Maybe they should take it.
Well, it's not supposed to be there in the first place.
Well,
That's
who's
typical
to
of
say
somebody
it's
who grew
supposed
up
to
in
be where-
Malaysia.
This is
hoping
an
that-
argument
if
that's been
it's-
going on at the show now for some reason. Ronnie always feels the need to defend the Burmese python, and we don't know why.
Well, do you know where I'm going on Monday, Ronnie? I'm flying to the Everglades
Strangle some
to
pythons?
fucking kill pythons with this lady. And I don't know if this might be the last time I ever do a Please Vote for Our Emmy Show nomination show, but I have to point that out because there's one of my most favorite things of The Daily Show, and what I'm most proud of are these package pieces that we do, is that we go actually out there. I'm going to be with this woman in her truck. She gets paid $65 to kill a snake, and she gets like $90 to get an egg. And you're not allowed to
Wait, why is the egg?
because I guess it's like the potential, like even like a young child's life is worth more than our child. You know, than our life. I mean,
Why did this get so dark?
Why
my
does this
point is the
sound
package.
familiar?
Yeah, the
The
package.
point is, you're not going to be in the office next week.
Correct. I'm not going to the office next week. Well, Desi said everybody pitches, and I was like, that's right. That is an awesome thing. That I thought, except for my pitch about going to hunt pythons, because now I actually have to go fucking do this piece. But
Regretting it.
But that's something we do at the Daily Show is field pieces, right? The field, we go into the field and in your case, talk to mentally ill people. And
Americans. It's Americans, Ronnie.
and
Thank you, Ron.
in your case, you kill local wildlife. And
Well, what about your piece where you went?
I killed
where you-
fish,
You
yeah, I
went to the
shot
bottom of
fish.
the ocean. You shot.
You
shot-
shot
we
fish?
shot lionfish. They were invasive species in Florida. And lionfish
What did you shoot them with?
with a gun?
Just
By the way, this is where we thank the legal department at Comedy Central.
They're wonderful.
But all these field pieces are like little short films, I guess, or snuff films, if you want. You know, like.
Right.
That's how it was, and we got there. When you have to, you know, it's a real education in all aspects. Well, Americana, but I was gonna bring it back to LA and be like of movie making, because you need to have writing skills, you need acting skills, you need improv skills, you need a producer who knows what they're doing, you need a director, you need camera people, they need to edit it. So every of these field pieces, you know, when you see Jordan going out there, just, and you think it's easy.
Have you watched any of these pieces?
No, I don't know what you
Dance?
actually. I know you go to DC or something.
Jordan Clever's new special.
Look at me, and you see him do it, and it looks easy. But that's because he spends a lot of time in edit, and he works with a
You
lot.
are
Of,
the worst at complimenting people.
I know,
Like the
and-
fucking worst. The worst.
All
And
the
he-
bad
by the way,
parts
there's
Like,
been a
are
are you
cut out.
trying to be like that? Where's there's like a genuinely nice thing in there?
Yeah,
And
okay,
you
I'm
just-
getting to it.
just bury
and I'm getting to it. I'm getting
Cool.
to it. And he's also.
This is every meeting at the show. It just
Oh my
evolves.
God.
I don't know how we get the show on the air.
and he's also a lanky person who's.
We doesn't have to enter into the conversation if you've been seen the piece.
Who happens to be a world-class improviser, and that's why you get.
That's where
There it is. There it is.
That's where it is.
That's a beautiful. Ultimately, within all that, I thought was a beautiful. Imagine a Burmese fight on with something inside it, and you're like, what is that? It was a beautiful couple.
Yeah. Feels like it's the snake eating its own tail.
Ronnie
That's great.
has traveling around the country.
I can't even tranquilize
has
it.
reinforced
It's so expensive.
Stereotypes that you thought you had about Americans. Has it opened your eyes to certain?
I need to-
things
I need to do something
that
fast.
You didn't think you would believe. Is it a more nuanced view?
When I came out of the jungles of Malaysia,
Yeah.
Here we go.
we had Malaysian pythons, and I always wanted to come to America and travel. So when I go around America, I go with like, oh my god, I get to see America. You know, when I get to do field pieces or when I tour the stand-up comedy special, like I get to like see all these different parts of America. And I gotta tell you something. This was before the election, and every town I went to, I was like, you know what? There's more good people than bad people out here.
For sure.
You know, every city, I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat or whatever, everyone was always super nice to me. They didn't know who I was, I think. And they were still nice. Everyone was respectful, face
No, I
to
think I
face.
should move these
People
actually.
in America are very respectful. And so I didn't go in thinking everyone's going to be horrible in the middle of America. I went in liking it, and I left the middle of America really liking it. Everyone
You're
was
just
super
sleeping.
nice. Everyone was trying to get by. Everyone was welcoming to me. They would show mutual respect, you know, and that made me hopeful. And then the election happened, and I was like, what the fuck happened there? Because everyone I met was
You
great.
like Americans as individuals, but not as a voting bloc.
In the aggregate, they get but as individuals, they were like, great, face to face. Everyone's very nice. So I don't know how to square that away, you know, with what I saw, you know, and the people I saw, and
I think it's generally people's experience with other humans is that they are, you know, I think you had alluded to it earlier that the view that people have from social media and from being online is a truly warped perspective of how we interact with each other, and it does so because it's incentivized purely for outrage and hostility. You know, the people that you see online make a name for themselves do it through provocation. They don't. There are very few people online that you're like, I just find that shit fascinating. Like it's just more like, wow, that fucking guy will say anything, you know, and in a horrible way. Like I always tell this story. It's a terrible story. Oh, fuck it, I'm not gonna tell it, but I'll tell you. All right. But the world as it exists, so.
Oh my god, dude! I don't even have.
Oh, are you worried about anti-Semitism? Like, no, I'm not worried about anti-Semitism.
Okay, they gotta tranquilize them fast.
I think it's very resilient, and but the reason I say it is so I've just gotten back to the show. I don't know if I'm my favorite dog. So I went on the show. Just mentioned it at the end of the show. And I ended up loving it. Like very, very emotional. And but the response from people was so wonderful that I did something I never do. I just posted on social media, and I put pictures up of my family and I when the first day we met Dipper. And what was so interesting is the comment section on social media. People started posting pictures of their best dog. So the first post is, you know, this is Kibbles. He was our Akita. I hope he and Dipper are playing at the Rainbow Bridge. Beautiful. The next one, this is our King Charles Spaniel. It was the best dog we ever had, and we miss him to this day. Beautiful. And then the third post was, why did you change your name, Jude?
Look, I was going through some stuff that week, and I just, I apologize.
And the second part of that post was, and this is our German Shepherd, Eva. And she's like, but my point being, like, you would meet those people face to face and go, wow, I had a great interaction with them. Because what you see online is such a perversion of who we are that when you see people in there, and I wonder, do you guys deal at all in social media? Do you delve into that, toxic factory of attacks in like the comments section, because it is. Those people I don't actually think exist. Even the people that write those, that's not really who they are. It's that the algorithm has changed their wiring in them.
I've been hassled by folks in the MAGA universe who then I meet in.
Is that the MAGA universe now? They're like Marvel?
Yes.
All right.
I think they've
They're
released a
their own
handful of projects
superheroes
now. Yes.
Right.
How do you do MAGA in sign language? Is it like this?
Is that what it is?
Spelling it out.
Sorry, but you were saying you.
I think it's also SOS. I believe, right? Is that what it is? Yeah.
you saying you ain't.
The mainstream liberal interpreters.
But I have a like the vitriol online is intense in these spheres, and I feel like when I'll go, there's a man I met who's called the Brick Suit Guy, who's famous in the MAGA world, and
The Brick Suit Guy.
He wears a brick suit that looks like Trump's wall, and he
But not actual bricks.
it's a bespoke suit. He has 5 of them, and he gets brought up on stage, and Trump parades him and talks to him. And he's a celeb at all of these events.
Right.
And he heckled us while we were filming one of these events. And he was posting about how terrible we were, and he was trolling us and doing all this stuff. Long story short, I get stranded at the airport with him for 3.5 hours.
What?
Just me and him.
You and Brick Suit Guy.
Me and Brick Suit. And we talked for 3.5 fucking hours.
About bricks?
About a little bit about bricks. I hear about his suits, his 5 suits, 3 he keeps offside.
I don't even have enough for a Storm Defense Center right now.
He live streams his location. Somebody got hip to it and
That's
robbed him.
crazy, bro.
This sounds like the worst Delta Sky Club of all time.
I'm gonna have to
Yanks, you know, you gotta
Oh
do
my
it.
god.
But long story short,
I had a Storm Defense Center, but I had to get rid of it because we have nobody over here.
In a brick suit, he has a handlebar mustache, and Trump brings on stage like he's an idiot. He's a smart guy, a nice guy.
He got to.
He got to me.
Shit.
And
I
that's
love
why
him.
you
He's
voted.
kind. I voted for him. You know, he's good with the economy, I think.
Initiative.
But he has changed his tune. Literally online, we talk online. When I go to events now, he'll come up to me and ask me about my family. It's one
This is
person
crazy.
who's changed the way they talk to me, but it's such a clear example that I've seen it so many people.
We gotta go out there. We gotta go out there in real time, bro.
And it's similar to the big man's profile. It's cool, it's vitriolic, it is aimed to people. And then I've met you in person, you know the cameras, you're watching. You're thoughtful, you're interesting, you're nuanced, you show a vulnerability about the things you don't know in a way that doesn't exist online. You can't be online, you're concerned about anything. But in real life, you are compelling. I would spend 2 hours on a paper, big fucking much. But I think that's not who it is. It's incomplete picture. But I do think for our job, I feel you gotta dip in. I feel I need to dip into X on the week of hosting. I gotta dip into these spaces and get a sense of what that conversation is. What is the what are the conversations? And shut it out for my own mental health.
You guys did that?
I dip in right before
Pretty expensive to fix? No way, bro.
Like,
Bro, we need to fix this.
G-forces, you got to strap it. I'm gonna host this week.
There was a field piece I did when Trump aired last season. Canada's the 51st state. Of course, we go up to Canada. Let's meet some of these Canadians, do some man on the street. We meet with this man who is Canadian, and he voted for Donald Trump in Canada's election. That's how much.
Bro, we
he
don't
loves
even have enough to repair
Donald
that.
Trump.
What are we
He's
gonna
a
do, okay?
roofer.
What are we gonna do?
He looks the way you would think he would look for a MAGA supporter, and you sit down with him in these one-on-one interviews. He comes in, his shoulders are out.
I don't know what we're gonna get
Because,
rid
oh
of.
my God, this is gonna be a rough 3-hour interview, and you get talking to him.
The dinosaur threat, bro.
You get to know him. He's really mad that Canada's taxes are high. He loves his kids. He's having a
Oh
hard
my
time paying for
God,
them,
bro.
and he thought it would be a funny gimmick that would get some traction to vote for
I think
Donald
we're
Trump.
done. I think this is
it's
it.
not
I
like
think it's
leave
the end of the
loving
park.
The guy, and I want him to come to Thanksgiving with me, but I understand him, and he's a good dude, actually. So I
There's
don't know,
nothing we
maybe
can
what we're
do.
talking about
We just
here
have to
is that
destroy
mob
everything.
mentality is the problem. That individually, we're all okay. I don't know. Yeah, clap! Everybody, clap at the same time right now.
Yeah, mob mentality is the worst.
Yeah.
Bad.
Some of it may be that it
Oh
really
my
is there's a
God.
certain kayfabe to it all. The thing that I worry about with David and not the rest of that
We gotta go do it ourselves because the power's out.
sort of the acting that
This is
takes
crazy.
professional wrestling, where there's heels and
This is like the worst an island has ever gone. This game truly does live up to its name,
the thing I worry about
and it's stressful. But it's like that's like the fun of it. Is like stress within the bounds.
you have a danger of that. The anger, even if it is artifice at first, somehow embeds itself in a way. And the thing I will say
He ended up getting back into the pen. Okay, well,
when we first started,
let's
one of
have
things
the
that-
Rangers repair this finally. We have to sell the entire
You know, and I'm just like, hey, man,
System.
tickets are free. Shut the fuck up and watch the show. But I think, you know, people forget, like, in early 2000s, you know, they argued to let, for the unitary executive, and that the vice president, I mean, there was an argument that the vice
Oh my gosh,
president
she's a
had power alone to institute the ability to torture people. You know, we forget our history is littered with these really tenuous moments where we find ourselves in a shaky place, and yet the resilience of the country finds its way, not to perfection, but past maybe those really rough moments. And so, in final, going back to the show,
They're starving?
we
Okay,
still
well, we
find
need to build
ourselves optimistic about
some food enclosures over
our
here.
ability to try and synthesize and contextualize all these things that are going on in a funny way, and the ability of the country to overcome that tenuous moment. And I would only ask
Coming out
We
of
also need to put some water in here too.
so no, it's relevant. No, it's relevant because one cool thing about America is the separation of powers is very strong. It is very strong, and people here complain about freedom of speech, but I can tell you, coming from places where there really isn't freedom of speech, the freedom of speech here still is there. I mean, we've been shitting on him for 12 years now, and he hasn't come after me yet. So I don't know, you know, there's something there. So I'm
we've
just
got a
saying that
special surprise for Ronnie.
ICE is here for you right now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So I would say that I am hopeful of the.
Oh my God, yeah.
resiliency
And we
of
still
these
need to have the
institutions
power.
in the industry. I do think that people will get past it. I think I can feel the antibodies kind of growing a little bit on social media in the country. This kind of resistance to this garbage that we can't even put a word to. I can feel people they feel a little sick about it, but people don't know yet how to avoid being sick. But they can feel the sickness, whether it's the political discourse, it's social media. There's this, and we're developing the antibodies for it. And it's a new medium, and so that makes sense. This internet thing, it makes sense that we had to develop it, just like we had to develop it for TV. When
You're
TV
gonna
came
get
out,
there.
just
You're
like
gonna
we
take
had
so
to
long to
develop
get
it When newspapers were invented, we had to keep developing these antibodies. So I am hopeful that we will get to a place where we can see some bullshit on the internet, and as a civilization, we'll be like, nah, that's bullshit.
That's a great point. You know, people think, you know, the printing press was invented. That ushered in the Enlightenment. But it didn't. It ushered in like 100 years of killing witches.
The opposite of then.
Yeah, it was the opposite. They brought in there. You guys, any thoughts on that?
Oh my God, he has to repair this one too.
I mean,
Desi's always hopeful.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
always
she's
hopeful.
always the best.
Maybe delusionally. so.
No.
I am naive. You asked if I check the comment sections and check in on X to see what they're saying. I don't have to because I go home to visit my family of Republicans, some of whom voted for Trump. So listen, like, it's not easy to have those conversations, but we do have those conversations. We have very different beliefs. We all can still laugh together. We can find some commonality. And I think what frightens me is the idea that people stop talking to one another. That's scary. But if people continue to have conversations and not be so stuck in their silos, I do think that there's hope that we'll get through this.
This might sound naive, but I am still impressed with the United States Constitution. It's roughly 270 years old. It isn't perfect
Bro.
at all. The checks and balances system, though, blows my mind. And we're seeing some of it being executed now with some of Trump's executive orders and what's happening.
This is like the worst one to keep right now,
And
honestly.
I'm
You'll have to sell
hopeful
them.
That judges will realize that Trump will push things further. I mean, he's pushing them as far as they've ever been. And I just am hopeful that the checks and balances will continue to work. That being said, other things I wake up thinking about in the middle of the night are we making a really beautiful, funny TV show on the Titanic while it's going down? That'll be my final thought.
Take us home, Jordan.
Jesus Christ. Titanic, jungles that I wasn't aware of,
Burmese Python.
Burmese Python. You know, yeah, I think you got to find hope. I find hope in a couple places. I just did a really great special, and but I went into that with a lot less hope because I was talking
got
to
it.
kids who were MAGA kids and who I had seen images of online, and online is
All right, let's sell this thing.
And when I talked to these 19 and 20-year-olds, I didn't agree with a lot of the things they had to say, but they weren't cruel, they weren't mean. And I talked to them about some big issues, the economy, immigration. When I talked to some of these culture war issues, trans rights, gay rights, they didn't take the bait. They didn't give a shit about it. They weren't upset about it. I think those kids are being preyed upon by institutions, by bad actors who want those eyeballs. They want to turn that naivete into weaponized cruelty, and they might. I think the way the tech is set up right now, that's where this end game goes. But those kids were a lot like me. They were contrarians, they were 19, they were naive, they were looking for a place, meaning, and community. And I think that's what we're all searching for. And I feel really grateful with having the show. We joke a lot about this, but I love coming to work. I think we laugh together in that room, and we feel so lucky because the world does feel like it's on fire sometimes. We watch the news, but our job is we get to turn on some of these clips, and we can laugh at it, we can scream at it, but like our job is to kind of fucking joke, to take away a little bit of that pain, and to also like connect to one another. So I feel very, very fortunate that exists as long as linear TV is still.
Right. Well, I have very much appreciate you guys coming out. It's an honor and a joy to work with you guys every day. And
Thank you for coming out, you guys, for real.
thanks all for coming out.
Everybody,
Got it.
please, the one and only Mr. Jon Stewart.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
That was so good. I don't know. I'm gonna do this, to be honest. I think this is done. I think this track, this whole park is done. I pretty much scaled up and scaled the whole thing back. Can't believe there's still a person within the enclosure. We are now in the red with negative money again. I have literally nothing coming for me except this one dinosaur. I bet I got rid of everything so we can have one big dinosaur again. And guess what? It might get sick. It might get sick, so we're gonna have to have the rangers and the research center to back it up. But that's gonna cost money, and I can't generate that money alone with one dinosaur. It's crazy. This level's really hard. Everything I've enclosed has escaped. It's needing me to scale back. Escaped or got sick severely. Alright, finally it's released at maturity. It's Dinosaur 1 again. I'm just waiting for these to die, honestly. I'm gonna be real, so I can just erase everything around them. I'm just gonna take away the food. I'll get some money off of that. There's nothing else I can sell. I've done just about everything. I've sold just about everything. They want me to build a hotel. How much is the hotel? 675,000. We don't have enough money for anything. I think we failed. I think we failed, to be honest. This was tough, man. This was really tough. I can't believe I failed. I failed. I scaled all the way back and failed. I can increase the guest shelter, yeah. I created this guest shelter for $250,000, right? And then how much is it gonna net me on the contract? And it wasn't even enough. I spent more to build the emergency shelter than I earned, but it's helpful to just do these contracts anyway because it still moves this bar along. You know, that's if nothing else, if my expenses keep going down, I'm at least moving contract bars. I don't even have a ranger team or that kind of dinosaur to take a picture of it. Oh, dude, I can't believe I just destroyed that power cord right there. I don't know what else I can do. I don't have a photo of that. I need a net photo. I don't even have a team to sell. To be honest, I don't have anything. This is crazy. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. This is like a lot harder than I thought it would be. This guy's doing alright though. Dude, I am negative right now. I have nothing. Yep, I got nothing. This has just failed. I'm gonna have to restart the mission, the whole island. But that's a lesson for next time. I just can't do it today. It just didn't work. I just couldn't do it. I can't just have a park off of the cheapest dinosaurs just because I can't keep going around. I don't know. That's just it. That was just a lesson. I don't even have an expedition center, a fossil center. I don't have none of that. Just the typical ways you can make money. I just got rid of all that and scaled it all the way down. I'm gonna have to. How do I restart it? Or just like heal it. You will lose all progress on this island. This action cannot be undone. It needs to be done, right? It needs to be done. I just got too deep. I got too deep there, man. It's gonna restart all the mission status on all of them, I'm sure. I wonder about how all the unlocks are gonna do. Just gonna reread the intro as I sign off here, just to get a good feel for what this island is about. Look, it's interesting to see it with the science center still available before they were sold off by me. Look, it looks beautiful, you know. Look at this. Look at the skies, the night skies, the science centers. And then we got our science center. We got a little space open right there for a good helicopter pad, right? I'm not sure what they're up to on this island, but it certainly doesn't scream tourist attraction to me. If you're gonna say you have your work cut out here, yes, I definitely did. It was tough, but that's where it's gonna have to end. Hopefully next time I can take with what I learned here and then come back, because it looks like I scaled everything completely down, like minus -1, just to get back, and I didn't. So we'll just stay right here, save it here. Whoa, buddy. And then yeah, we'll just come back and try it again next time. Hopefully